horrible videos. Let's see if we can do it this way. Let's see if we can do it like that. This way is better. Okay, I'm gonna send you a request, Rebbetzin, and then you have to accept it. 1 second. Let's see if we can find you. Yes. Everyone, it takes a little while to set it up, but so glad to have you back. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's going to be a monthly inspirational show featuring, hi, Itzig Dadia. Sorry, it's featuring the females now, the most powerful Jewish woman, and we're going to learn the greatness of a Jewish woman. I'm waiting for your Rebbetzin to log in. What happened? I don't hear you at all. No volume here or there. Something is wrong with, because we don't hear you. I don't hear it either on Zoom or on it. You have to accept my invite. Do you see I sent you an invite on Instagram? You have to accept it. Okay, let me try again. Let's see if we can do this again. Sorry, guys. When someone doesn't have Instagram, it's hard for them to log into it. So we created a special Instagram for the Rebbetzin to join us. Let's see if she'll be able to connect now. And I would love to see your comments of who do you want me to feature. It's going to be a monthly show around Rosh Chodesh. And I am honored to host someone amazing as Rebbetzin Slovie Jungreis Wolff. And I don't know what's going on with her. Her Instagram and her Zoom. Robbie, if you're watching, can you please direct her how to connect? Please.
Do you hear me now on Zoom?
Yes, I hear you on Zoom, but you have to accept me on Instagram. Yes, accept me on Instagram because I'm sending you a request.
Okay, but that is coming out a little bit hard for me. Try
it again. Sorry. Do you see the request that I sent you to your the Instagram?
No, I don't.
Try to send me a request yourself. Go click onto my picture.
Is there a way we could just do the Zoom?
No, because I have tons of people waiting to see you on Instagram. Yeah.
Let's see.
I sent you a request now. I actually have about 60 people waiting to watch you on Instagram. Are you on Instagram now?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't see your request. I feel so terrible.
Do you see a picture pop up on top? It says live on it.
Yes.
Click on that.
I do, but I don't see a picture. Okay. We're getting it. We got it.
We got it. Okay, guys. Wait, I'm waiting for you to accept. Did you accept the invite? You have to accept the invite now. Do you see it?
It says request. Okay.
Request to be my live. Did you send a request? Yes, I see it. I'm waiting for you to accept. Accept it now. I sent it again. Oh. Okay. We did it. Okay, amazing.
Placing my phone. I'm sorry.
Okay, everyone, you can hear us now. This is amazing. I mean, you need no introduction, which I already did, and you are so inspiring. Every time I hear you speak, you move me to tears, to be honest. And she's a world-renowned author, lecturer, daughter of the queen, I call her, Rebbetzin Jungreis, Esther Jungreis, and you lead the Hilleli couples division as well, among other superwoman powers that you have. So we're so honored to have you. Thank you so much for joining and inspiring all the females on my page.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor for me to be here. I just want to make sure the sound is right because I hear an echo. So
yes, because you need to, your Zoom volume needs to go down.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank everybody for being so patient.
Thank you, everyone. She's amazing.
I'm just going to make that a little lower. Let's see.
Yes. This way we won't hear an echo.
Okay. I learned something. We're good?
A little bit more. I think you have to turn down the volume. There's an echo.
Okay. Is that better?
Yes. How is the sound, everyone? Before we get into the questions, how is the sound? Let me see what they hear. They think the echo is still there. Is it on my side or on her side?
Is it on my side?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting. Okay, they're saying it's good, so we can start. Great.
Okay. I think this was just a lesson in never giving up.
Never give up. We need you. When we're doing something inspirational, there's always things that is going to block us, but we have to fight it.
That's the whole shiur right
That's
now.
the shiur right there. Okay, so I'm honored to have you, as I said again, and I wanted to actually connect this month's show to the holiday of Tu B'Shvat because we're in the holiday, and Tu B'Shvat is known to be the holiday of the trees, the seeds, and planting. And we know that when you plant a seed into the ground, we don't see the results right away. It takes forever to see it turn into a strong tree, and you know, it's something that takes such a long time, and you have to be super patient. What can we learn from the lesson of the seed and grow spiritually step by step when we feel like we want to see results right away? How do we not get discouraged? Sometimes we want to just jump in and conquer everything.
Look what just happened to us right now. It's so easy. You know, in a second we could just get discouraged, and that's life. So this is a wonderful question. It's something that we all go through, and it's nothing new. You know, I want us to think about this. Hashem is giving us a message.
There's still an echo, I think, on your side.
My side. So let me.
Yes, so volume on all the computers needs to go off.
Okay.
This way, yes.
The volume needs to go down.
All the way, yeah.
Okay. Let's make it go all the way down. Is that good now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this holiday of Tu B'Shvat is really our holiday. It's for women, and it's such a strong message. You know, sometimes people say, how do I hear what Hashem wants from me? Hashem gives us all these different holidays, and this is how Hashem talks to us. Think about it. We're in the middle of the winter. It's freezing cold. In some places it's snowing, and we're celebrating trees, and we're celebrating life because we don't see what is happening right now, but slowly the sap is rising. It's invisible. From this moment on, the buds are going to start to bloom. This is the moment that life is happening. But to the eye, we see nothing. We see bare trees. We feel cold. We feel freezing. If you would ask a person now, do you see life when you look at this tree? All of us are going to say, of course not. So Hashem sends us Shvat, which is Shalom, Bracha, Tova. Peace, Shin. Beis, Bracha, blessing. Tes, Tova. That's what Shvat stands for. I'm going to give you the secret. You want Shalom? You want peace inside of you? You want Bracha? You want blessing in your life? You want Tova? You want good in your life? This is how it's going to happen. You cannot give up in life. Now, if you think about anything that's real, okay, you have to go to the Torah. Any word that's in the Torah is lasting and forever. Any word that's not in the Torah, this is something my mother taught me. Like, take the word fun. There's no word for fun in the Torah, right? Why? Because fun is fleeting. Is there a word for history in the Torah? Think about it. How do you say history in Lashon Kodesh? You don't. You say historia, right?
Right.
We say Sipur, the Sipur of Mitzrayim, the story, because our life is a story. And it's really a circle. Everything that happened to our fathers, to our mothers in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, will happen across the centuries, through country to country to country, to right now. Now, there's so many people right now who feel like giving up. So many people feel like saying, it's terrible, everything's crazy, we can't. You think it was different in Egypt? You think it was different in Mitzrayim? You think it was different in Spain? You think it was different through every galut, every exile that we went through? Absolutely not. And now it could be even harder because we're so used to getting everything right away. Right away. You're on Instagram, you see everything. WhatsApp, right away. You're texting somebody, why didn't they answer me? I see the 2 checks, they got it, why didn't they answer me, right? You order something on Amazon, you get it right away. So we want the refuah now. We want the Yeshua now. We want our answer now. That's not how Hashem works, because you have to dig in deep. And you cannot give up your hope. So who kept hope alive? You see, once you lose hope, chas v'shalom, you lose everything. As long as there's hope, there's life. You cannot give up hope. Who kept hope alive in Egypt, in Mitzrayim? It was the women.
The woman.
This is our job. This is our mission. How do you keep hope alive? That's the question. How do you do it? And I would say the first thing that we have to do is we have to look at this holiday, this Chag of Tu B'Shvat. When you plant seeds, you know where nothing grows? If the soil is full of acid. If you are a person who is full of acid, of bitterness, you're discouraged, you don't see light, then there's no way that you will have the bracha grow inside of you, and you cannot give love to others, and you cannot give blessing to others, and you cannot give hope to others if you don't have it yourself. So the first thing I would say is this: the moment that we start to think something negative, the moment that that line comes to your head, like, it's crazy, the whole world is crazy, I'm never going to do this, this house is crazy, the noise is crazy, we're never going to make it out of this normal, right? There's so many negative words that are coming through our heads right now. The moment the negativity starts, you have to say, it's acid soil, it doesn't work. No bracha could come from that. I want shalom, I want bracha, I want tova, so I have to replace the negative with the positive. I can say, it's hard, but I can do this. Ein od milvado. We've gone through much bigger things. Of course we're going to make it. Of course every tefillah counts. Of course Hashem is hearing me. So it's like you're on the highway and you went the wrong way, and you hear the Waze saying to you, recalculate. All of us have to hear that voice now. Recalculate back to the bracha. And this is my mission. This is your mission. This is our mission, to be positive, to pick up everyone you know with positivity.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful message. Wow, you're right. So many women are going through such a hard time, especially during the corona, and so much more responsibilities we have than ever before. So this is a powerful words, Rebbetzin. I think every woman has to look at the positive, and you're right, refocus. Absolutely.
Everybody has something negative in their life, but everybody also has something positive in our lives.
Yes.
We have to put our eye on the bracha. Hashem is waiting to see. What do you see? I give you so much bracha. Where do you put your eye? And we often put our eye on what we think we are missing, or we're on social media and we see what other people are doing and having, and we say, why not me? We must come back to looking at the bracha in our lives, because when you have hakarat hatov, when you recognize the good that Hashem gave you, then what do? You say thank you. And you're a happier person. And then Hashem wants to give you more bracha. because you appreciate. But think about it. If you're a parent and everything you give your child, they just say, ugh, or why didn't you give me this? And why didn't you give me that? And that's what you're doing. And that's where we're going. Why can't we go there? You say,
Right.
what should I give to you more? So we have
Exactly.
to keep our eye on the bracha. That's the message of Shvat. It's invisible sometimes. Plant seeds. Hazorim bedima barina yiktsaru. Plant the seeds. Even with tears. You have tears? Don't let your tears go to waste. Shar demaot lo ninalu. The gates of tears are never closed. Use your tears. Women, we're all together right now. Use your tears to nourish our soil, to bring the Yeshua. We can all do this. We can. We have this power.
Beautiful. Wow. I think a lot of people love your message. I see the comments in the thing. Amazing. How do we keep ourselves consistent with our growth? A lot of times we get inspired. We hear, let's say, a beautiful lecture. We read beautiful book and we're like so inspired. We're full of inspiration, full of fire. And then it kind of like fades away. How do we keep that fire alive?
It's such a great question. It really is. You know what Hashem, in his rachamim, in his compassion, gave us with Tu B'Shvat? Hashem gave us halftime. You see, after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which is the Yamim Noraim, we come out, we're all inspired. We're changing the world. We're changing our lives. This year, and everybody can fill in the blank. This year, I'm going to do this. This year, I'm going to be this person. We will get so inspired. And then what happens? Life happens. Corona happened, so much happened. And then we come to halftime. This is half a year has gone by. And Hashem says, Tu b'shvat, even the word tu, like a shofar. Hashem's reminding us, I want you to keep that inspiration alive. How do we do it? So the first thing is set a goal. Don't just make this, I'm going to be better. Everything's going to be wonderful. I'm so inspired. Set a goal for yourself. Next, make a plan. You see, sometimes we have a goal and we don't have a plan how to make it happen. And then make it real. Make your goal real, which means even a little thing. Let's say we say, this year, I'm going to want to be more connected to Hashem. All of us want that, So how do I do that? Now I have to have some type of plan. In the time of David HaMelech, in the time of King David, there was a plague. And David HaMelech said, what can you do? V'ata Yisrael, ma Hashem Elokecha shoel mimcha. What does God want from you? Don't say ma, say mea, 100. Make 100 brachot a day, 100 blessings a day. So let's say from our talk tonight, we're going to say, I'm going to connect to Hashem through making a bracha. I'm going to take it upon myself that whenever I make a bracha, I'm going to stand still, stop what I'm doing, and not move around. It sounds so little. It is so big because listen to this, how beautiful this is. Baruch Atah Hashem. You know what the first letters are? Beis, Aleph, Yud. What does that spell? Boi. Every time we make a bracha, we say, come Hashem, come into my life. And Hashem reflects me. So when I say to Hashem, Baruch Atah Hashem, Hashem, I'm standing still. Come into my life. You know what Hashem says? If you stand still for me and you invite me into your life, guess what? I'm inviting you into my life. I'm going to give you all the bracha in the world. So how inspiring is that? You could say, all that is one bracha. More than one bracha. I'm not moving. I'm not on my phone. I'm not walking around. I'm not chasing after somebody. I'm standing. I'm saying my bracha. I'm saying, Baruch Atah Hashem. Boi, Hashem, come into my life. And that's how we stay inspired. It's little steps. Choose a goal, make it real, and then have a plan to make it happen. Even with this corona, we all want to do mitzvot. We all want to do chesed. There's so many people who are lonely at home. Make one phone call before Shabbat. Call somebody you know and just say good Shabbos. Send a text, send an email, do a FaceTime, make somebody smile. Everybody knows somebody who's home alone, who's struggling
Absolutely.
or hard time. Is it such a big deal? It is such a big deal to know at the end of the day, ask yourself this: whose life did I touch today? Did I make somebody's eyes shine today? If I made somebody's eyes shine today, then I know that I have chiyus, I have life. I am here for a purpose. How inspiring is that? That's all I need to do. Make a difference in somebody's life every single day, just by making them smile, just by saying hello, just by saying, I'm thinking of you. You could change somebody's world.
Absolutely. Such a simple thing, but yet it can really change. It's life-changing for another person.
You know, I say, Victoria, that, and I want everyone to think about this. When I was a little girl growing up, my mother would tell me how the first day she arrived to Bergen-Belsen and how terrible was that. Who can even imagine? And she was just a little girl, and my Zaidi said to my mother, here you have a grace avoda shefali. Here you have a huge job. You have a huge mission. And my mother said she looked up at her father, at my Zaidi, and she said, here? What can I do here, Tati? I'm just a little girl, and this is Gehenna. This is the most terrible place in the world. And you know what my Zaidi said? Here you can smile, because when you smile at somebody, you give them hope. If a little girl can do that in Bergen-Belsen, can't we all just find one person a day to give a smile to? You can change somebody's life and inspire ourselves. When we inspire others, we inspire ourselses. That's the truth.
Absolutely. I'm having chills, Rebbetzin. You are incredible. Wow. Just wow. Powerful. Very powerful. You should read the comments. You are just wow. I told you guys she's going to make you move.
The Ezra, you know, we're here together. We are women together. We have tremendous koach together. This is how we got out of Mitzrayim. This is how we're going to get out of this. We have to unify all of us together. We have tremendous, tremendous koach as women. The gates of tears are never closed. But what do we cry for? That's the question. What do we cry for? If it's never closed, why do we have gates on the gates of tears? Because when we cry for the wrong thing, then the gates are closed. But if you cry for Am Yisrael, if you cry for the pain of another, everybody knows somebody going through something. You know what it is for Hashem to see that we're not only focusing on our own pain, but that we're focusing on somebody else's pain? What does every parent want? To know that your children love each other. You feel, right?
Right?
We can do
exactly. We're touched. When I see my children caring about each other, that moves me more than anything. So you're absolutely right.
But that's what Hashem wants. You know why Hashem made it so much more difficult in Mitzrayim before the Geula? Moshe himself asked Hashem, Lama Hariyosalam. I said, why are you making it so terrible? You sent me. I thought everything would be great. And now it's so much harder. Why? You know why? Because when everything became so terrible, at that moment, there was this unified cry where everybody felt the pain of another. And that's what Hashem wants from us. Don't just be stuck in your own bubble. Cry for another. That's what makes us into Am Yisrael.
Beautiful. So we have to feel each other's pain and pray for each other, basically. I love it. Great points.
Absolutely.
So we
you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I little point. How do you feel somebody's pain? So I want to give you just like a little window into something I discovered for myself. You know, we spoke about little steps, little goals. Okay, let's say my goal is to feel somebody's pain. How do I do that? I discovered in my siddur, before I daven, it says, Hareini mikabel al atzmi. Right now, I'm accepting on myself, mitzvahs aseh, the mitzvahs aseh of v'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha. To love a person as yourself. How do you do that? Every morning, before I daven, I say that verse, that pasuk, and then I think of somebody I know who's going through something and what they're feeling. It just takes, what, 30 seconds?
That's right.
That's it. Think of that person and make a tefillah for that person. Think what that person's going through. Somebody's going through a difficulty with parnasa, with trying, to find now. So many people have lost their jobs, their businesses. There's so much pain. Somebody's going through shalom bayis, a difficulty in their home, because everybody's just on top of each other. Somebody's going through something with a child. So many children going through things now. So many children. Good kids. Choose one person, someone looking for a shidduch, somebody waiting to have a baby. I mean, there's so many people in pain. If Hashem sees we feel for each other, what does it take? 20 seconds of our time. That's all we need.
Beautiful. I think all the people are inspired and they feel the unity and how one second. If anyone has questions, I'm just reading the comments. Wow, I'm inspired myself. I'm speechless, and I'm never speechless, Rebbetzin. So that's beautiful. So we discussed how a seed eventually turns into this massive tree, and just like the theme of this program, greatness and empowerment of a woman. How do we see ourselves, not for who we are, but for our potential, for who we can be? Not just a regular, mom, wife. We get so lost in all this daily life.
I want us all to understand, first of all, that, what you just said, not just as a mom or not just as a wife. There's no such thing as just. When we wake up in the morning and we say, Rabba emunatecha, after we say Moda'ani, what does that mean? It means, so great is your belief in me, God, that you gave me life. The fact that Hashem gave me life today means that I count, that I'm needed in this world. I was born now. I'm here now. I have to then figure out, what is my mission in this world? So we come into this world and Hashem says, Moshe, Moshe, Avram, Avram. Why does Hashem say it twice? So our sages teach us, because we come into this world and Hashem has this vision of everything we can accomplish, our gifts, everything that we can do, the people that we will touch. And then the second time Hashem says our name is what our life really has become. And that for some people is so painful at the end of 120 years to see what could have been and what I did with all the gifts and time that God gave me. Hashem gave us such a gift of time. So we all have to know that we have a mission in this world, number one, and we have potential to do something great. Now, what is my mission? That's for each of us to figure out. Everybody has a gift. For some, it's art. For some, it's a personality. Okay? For some, I know how to decorate something beautiful. Now, how do I make my Shabbos beautiful? Because I appreciate seeing beautiful things. Okay? Everybody has something in this world that can make this world into a better place. Everybody has a neshama. Everybody has a soul. Back to Tu B'Shvat. On Tu B'Shvat, we have a Tu B'Shvat Seder. Now, when you are at the Seder, we have all different types of fruits, and all this is a hint to our potential. First of all, we're supposed to have something from Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because Eretz Yisrael has so much Kedusha and holiness. Take a taste, something from Eretz Yisrael, a fruit, a wine, something, and you're going to then infuse yourself with that Kedusha, with that holiness. That's number one. Okay? Now look at the fruits. Some of the fruits that we have a hard shell on the outside, but there's so much sweetness on the inside. Maybe that's some of us, that we've gone through a lot and we're a little bit hard right now, but you know what? Don't ever give up on yourself, because inside you have that spark, you have that pintalayid, you have that neshama that will never ever go away. And some of the fruits we have, our Tu B'Shvat Seder, are soft on the outside like an olive or like a date. But you know what's inside? A very hard pit. You know what that is? That's those of us listening right now who think, I'm mush. I have no hands. But inside, guess what? There's something called courage. There's something called hope. There's something called strength. And every single woman has it. I have never, ever met somebody who has lost their pintaliyid, their spark inside of them. I've never. I can tell you the most incredible stories. I'll share one very quickly with you now. I was doing a Shabbos program before Corona, mock Shabbos. We had 100 women under the stars. It was a mock Shabbos for some women and children who, some of them never experienced Shabbos before. At the end of the program, somebody tells me there's a little girl inside and she's crying. I go to follow the sounds of her tears. I find this beautiful little girl, 8 years old. I bend down, she's with her mommy. I say, why are you crying? She said, I want Shabbos. I said, you crying for Shabbos? I've never met somebody crying for Shabbos. You were crying for Shabbos. Do you know what that is? And I turned to her mother. I said, your little girl wants Shabbos. She said, I know. I said, I'll do it for her. And you know what this little girl said to me? It's too late. I said, why are you saying it's too late, Bubala? And this little girl said to me, we used to do Shabbos, but then my father died and my mother stopped. And when you stop, you can never do it again. I took her in my arms. I said, are you kidding me? Do you know what's going to happen tomorrow night, Friday night? Your mommy's going to light Shabbos candles. And the malachim, the angels in the heavens above, they are going to be dancing and clapping and singing. And they're going to say, look who's back. Look who's back. Look which little neshama is back. There's no such thing as a neshama that is not alive. So we cannot give up on ourselves. We all have tremendous potential. And don't discount the potential of, when you say just being a wife, just being a mother, just being a woman, because we bring the geula, the future of Am Yisrael depends on every single woman listening right now. This is our mission in this world. And it's huge, but we cannot give up hope.
What do you tell the women who have so much potential but are afraid of failure? They want to do something and they have so much talent, but they're scared of failure. They're scared they're not good enough.
That's such a great question. I will say this. Sheva yipol tzaddik. 7 times a righteous person falls. It's not a big deal to fall. It's not a big deal to fail. You know what is a big deal? Not to have the courage to pick yourself up again.
Correct.
We're not malachim. We're not angels, and we're not supposed to be angels. Why does Hashem give us Yom Kippur every year? Why? Because Hashem knows we make mistakes. We're human beings. But then we have to pick ourselves up and say, okay, I made a mistake. Where do I go from here? David HaMelech himself made a mistake. And you know what he gave us? The most beautiful Tehillim to say. Look up the Tehillim that David HaMelech said after he made his mistake. It's so beautiful where he asks Hashem to forgive us, to forgive him. And he said, I'm going to give you my words. So never be afraid of making a mistake. Be afraid of not trying. That's what we have to be afraid of.
Beautiful answer.
Today means that we wear a lot of hats. And hard, okay? We're Uber drivers, we're therapists, we're cooks, we're homework tutors. I mean, what does a woman not do today? What does a woman not do? And if you're listening and you're not married, you have tremendous roles in life. There's so many people counting on you, looking up at you. That's the message of Tu B'Shvat. The roots are hidden, but we have to work and know that we have to work on our roots. And if the roots are strong, the biggest storm can come, but the tree will not fall. Sometimes we'll bend here, we'll bend there, but the tree will stand. Never be afraid. If you know that you have strong roots, you never have to be afraid in life.
Beautiful answer. So, last question. I know maybe we'll take some questions from the audience, but how can we as women internalize this idea of greatness of a woman? How can we remind ourselves of this on a daily basis to keep this important message in our minds? You know, a lot of times, a lot of people say that, you know, they get so sidetracked with all the other stuff that they do that they forget they forget
We
their
forget
potential.
who we are. Yeah, sometimes we're our own worst enemies and we put ourselves down.
That's true.
Women are incredible. Okay? Hashem gave us Bina, which is super wisdom that only women possess. Mevin davar mitoch davar, which means we look at something and we see depth. Okay? We don't give up. We're the Ezer Kenegdo. We have so many gifts. We have so much in our spiritual DNA from the women who came before us. So how do we remember this every day? I would say that number one, when we daven, there's one bracha in particular that I'd love us to think about right now, and that is Baruch Atah Hashem. And don't forget, when we say Baruch Atah Hashem Boi, we invite Hashem to come into our lives. Hanosin Laya'ev Koach. What does that mean? Hanosin Laya'ev Koach. We say it every day. Hashem, that you give Koach, okay, energy to the.
Yes.
What does it mean to be Ayef? And Hanosin Laya'ev Koach. Always we say Ayef, which is tired, but did you ever realize that we're saying Ya'ef? What does that mean? Do you know what it means? To be spiritually tired. We ask Hashem every day, please Hashem, give me energy not to be spiritually tired. Do you know how many women I've met? They're exhausted, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. They do not give up. One more Tehillim, one more. I mean, I have my mother's Tehillim. I have her book of Psalms. The pages are tattered from tears. This is our secret weapon. This is what we have. And Tu B'Shvat comes to give us this message. I'll tell you how. What is Rosh Chodesh? It's the holiday that Hashem gave to women. Okay? Why? Why Rosh Chodesh? Which is really, it goes according to the moon, right? Because it's giving us a message every time we look at the moon, and listen carefully because it's so custom made for every single one of us. The moon does not stay the same. Sometimes you're going to see this huge, golden, gorgeous moon. It will take your breath away. And sometimes you'll see a crescent, and sometimes you'll see nothing. Do you know what that is? That's me, that's you, that's all of us, because sometimes we feel so emboldened and so empowered. We feel like we're that golden, huge moon, and we can do anything and everything. And then sometimes we feel like, I'm not feeling so strong today.
That's right.
Sometimes you don't even see the moon. Sometimes I don't even see myself. I don't even feel myself. I'm invisible. I have no more strength. But do you know what Hashem says? This is your holiday, Rosh Chodesh. And Tu B'Shvat comes exactly when? In the middle of the month, when the moon is the largest and the most beautiful. Hashem says, women, I love you. The future of Am Yisrael is depending upon you. When you feel that you have no strength, Hanosin Laya'ev Koach, ask me, I will give you the strength. Look at the moon and know that even if you don't see the moon is there. Even if you don't see your koach is there.
Yeah.
It's there. I promise you it's there. That's the message to each of us every single day. We have potential for every
Beautiful.
single one of them.
Wow. I think I'm inspired to do more, but is it okay if we take a few questions? Because a lot of people have.
Absolutely.
So,
I love that.
There's one question. How do we connect more to Tehillim? One lady says she tries so hard to connect to the words, or maybe because she doesn't understand it, what she's reading. So it's hard for her to connect to the words. And also, I know that a lot of people, as myself, I have a struggle to find time to pray, to connect. But I have so much going on throughout the day, and if I do pray, it goes on. It loses its meaning. How do I connect to my prayer?
Okay, so let's first think what Tehillim is. Why is it so important for us? David HaMelech, King David, wrote Tehillim. It's like, let's say you have this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful coat to put on. You could either buy a new one or you could buy a vintage coat that was made so well and so beautifully. He's giving us his words to put on, because sometimes we don't have the words to say, to connect, to reach Hashem. And David HaMelech is saying, I've gone through it all, okay? He did. He went through everything.
It all. That's right.
He gave a psalm, a tehillim for everything. So first of all, we have to know the source. It's coming from our Zaidi, from David HaMelech. Second of all, for every situation, there is another psalm. There is another tehillim to say. So it's important to know, sometimes it's a thank you tehillim. Sometimes it's a time of danger. Sometimes it's a time of sickness. I mean, there are so many tehillim to say. So I have to know the right one for the right time. And to know what I'm saying is really important. Exactly as you say, there are some tehillim that were put out that have tremendous translations that it's much easier to say and understand. Now, when should I say? I'll give you a little window again in my life. Growing up, my mother's tehillim, anytime would be anywhere, the car, the doctor's office, 5 minutes here, red light, whatever it is, out comes the tehillim. And what can I say? What can I say? I can say this. What is tehillim? Don't wait for things to go wrong to say tehillim, okay? Think of it that you're opening up a spiritual account in Shemayim, in the heavens above. And every time you do a mitzvah, every time you say a tehillim, even a few words, you're making a deposit into their account. It's the most beautiful thing. Who knows what power your tehillim is going to have for you, for your future generations, for Am Yisrael. So everything counts. You don't have to sit for hours. Even one kapitel tehillim. And you know what? The more you say, the more you're going to love it. That I can tell you. You will be inspired. It brings you closer to Hashem. When you see the words, when David HaMelech writes how he made a mistake, Bevo LeBat-Sheva, when he went together with Bat-Sheva, and he made a mistake, not a sin, but a mistake. And he asked Hashem to forgive. Whenever we make a mistake, whenever I make a mistake, that's the tehillim I go to, Nun Aleph, which says, "Na, please Hashem. Please, Hashem, connect to me. Leiv Tahar Li Elokim. Hashem, you created in me such a beautiful heart. Al tashlicheni milfanecha. Don't send me away from you. Don't cast me away." There's so many beautiful words that come to my mind in Tehillim. You need to turn off your phone when you say Tehillim. Don't be distracted. And if you're with people in your home, let them know this is my time right now. Don't disturb. And you will see that this will become the most precious gift that you have. My Tehillim are my best friend.
Beautiful. So people are loving your answer, by the way. A lot of people had this question, how to connect it to Tehillim. So I'm happy to see that you answered it. Let's see if we have any other questions. Anybody else okay, the Tehillim. Let me see.
I also want women who are listening not to be hard on themselves. You don't have to walk around with Tehillim 24/7, okay?
Right.
What does Hashem want from us? Hashem doesn't want us to go up onto a mountain and starve ourselves, and just sit there meditating. Hashem wants us part of this world. V'heyei bracha, Hashem said to Avram Avinu. Be a bracha, be a blessing. So we have to have balance in our lives. We have Tehillim, we have food, but we make a bracha. We take the physical and we make it into something spiritual. We have our families. Whatever you have in life, ask, how is my today better than my yesterday? And if I ask myself that question, then I can know where I'm at. Make a cheshbon hanefesh. Make an accounting for yourself. And if you feel that today wasn't such a good day, it's okay. Because you know what? The Ezrat Hashem, with Hashem's help, tomorrow's another day.
Right.
And I'll do better tomorrow. As long as I'm honest with myself. That's what I have to do. Be honest. I'll fall down. You think we're all angels? You think it's perfect? Of course not. But then I have to say, what can I do tomorrow that will be better than today? And how is my today better than my yesterday? That's how
Exactly.
I lose my potential inside of me.
Absolutely. So we just have a new day, new beginning, and we shouldn't look back. We should look forward. Beautiful, Rebbetzin.
Absolutely. Shvat, absolutely. Everybody should be having a beautiful table. Look at the word for table. There's so much secrets in Judaism. Lashon Kodesh, okay? The word for table is what? Shulchan. It comes from the word shaliach, messenger. Because my shulchan, my table, is my messenger for what? For bracha. Because when I sit at a table, I don't want to just sit by myself. What does a steak taste like if I'm just eating by myself? I share with someone. Oh, now it's delicious, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
my shulchan, I make a bracha. I say, Bowie, Hashem, come into my life. I bring my family. I talk. I share. Okay? If I can do all that, I've changed a life. That's it. That's what Hashem wants from us. So I'm asking everyone listening, let's not be hard on ourselves. Because women are very hard on themselves. See the bracha in life. See the good that you do. There's so much good in this world that comes from women.
Absolutely. Wow. Beautiful words. People have so many questions, but I think we're going to have Rebbetzin back sometime again because I see we have so many questions. Everybody is just in love with the Rebbetzin, like I knew what people would.
I would
And
love, this is the only part, not the only, but it's hard that I'm not able to go into different communities and speak because we have such, Mika Amcha Yisrael, we have such incredible women. So I'd love to come back and
actually, yeah, I have followers from all over right now, from all different states and countries watching and listening in, which is amazing how we can reach so many people and inspire all at once. Thank you, Rebbetzin. It was such an honor to have you. Thank you for inspiring me and everyone else. You are just a true inspiration. And honestly, am I the only one who was moved to tears?
thank you so much. I want to end with this. I say one more thing.
Yeah.
We custom, it's a minhag that when you have your Hebrew birthday, it's like you're born again. You have the power of bracha. It's like as if you're coming into the world again. Tonight is my Hebrew birthday. So I want to give everyone listening a bracha. And the bracha is that we should all, be'ezrat Hashem, see the fruits of all our tears, of all our tefillot, and we should have the Yeshua and the bracha. We should have real Shabbat. We should have shalom. Whoever needs shalom, peace in their homes, with their families, in their hearts, Hashem should give us all shalom. Bracha, Hashem should give us all bracha. We daven for bracha. This means so much to us to be able to see the bracha in our lives. And tova, we should know what's good in life. And whatever we ask for, Hashem should give it for tov, for good. We should see the Yeshua very, very quickly, bimhera, and we should be in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, very quickly. I thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Rebbetzin. Thank you for the beautiful bracha. May Hashem bless you at 120. May you be healthy and strong, surrounded by beautiful descendants, and you keep inspiring everyone around you. Thank you. You are
amazing, Victoria. Thank you. This is a wonderful project you do. Thank you, Chazaq.
Thank you, Chazaq. Thank you, Rebbetzin. It was a pleasure. We'll have her on again, guys. So now we're going to have Yaffa Palti, who is, one second, I have to connect her, who's actually also very inspiring, and you're going to learn more about her. I don't know if she's there. Let's see. I removed it. How amazing is the Rebbetzin Slovie Jungreis Wolff? Honestly, every time I listen to her, I'm just speechless. I'm just so moved by her. Wow, her words. So Yaffa, she's joining us. She's connecting. I'm so excited to have her on. Hello. I'm so excited to have you.
Hold on, let me move.
Do the Zoom,
I'm
yes.
going to move back a tiny bit because of the two devices. I just want to make sure that I am in the center. Okay. Where are we? Hi.
Hello.
Now we finally met in person for the first time.
Yes, we did in Miami. I think we still have an echo here, right?
I hear an echo. Do you?
Yes, you have to turn down the volume.
My volume on my Instagram is completely
Zoom,
off.
on your Zoom, not on the Instagram.
Okay, how's this?
I hear an echo. What about you? Do you guys hear an echo? Is it completely like the lowest setting?
I think I shut it off completely.
Let me see.
Do you still hear it now?
Slightly.
I heard an echo almost the whole time before with the Rebbetzin. I don't know if other people did.
I didn't, but maybe the other people did. Maybe we should turn off the Zoom volume. Does that even make sense? No, but then they won't hear you, right? It'll be a problem.
Right.
Okay,
now my Zoom volume is down for me and my Instagram volume is on.
Okay,
so you
perfect.
Still have an echo? Guys on Instagram, can you give me a thumbs up if it's an echo? Oh wait, somebody said good. Oh,
we just see you fuzzy. Yeah, we don't see you so well. So
I'm fuzzy.
Yes, we don't see you clearly.
Is this better?
Yes, slightly. Not so well.
Why is this happening?
I don't know. All these technical difficulties.
I know. Someone's saying, okay, they're saying no echo.
Just blurry. I also see blurry.
You know what? Let me get off and come back on. Okay?
Okay.
And let's see if it's better.
Yes. Yes, let's do
that. And they said they only see a drop of my face?
Yes, not a full face. I just see like this part.
Okay, that's weird. Let me.
Okay. Yes, request me again. Request me again. Yes. Okay. Sorry guys, this is live, so we're constantly having difficulties, but we'll get a hang of it, I promise. We'll have Yaffa back on. I'm just waiting for her to request her again. Let's see if she's going to request me. Put her back on. There she is. Okay.
Okay, tell me if this is better.
Much better, right? Yes.
Okay, you see my face and I'm not blurry and there's no echo.
Slight echo, not blurry. We can work with this. It just depends what they hear.
Annoying. I'm sorry.
That's right. I hear myself twice.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, they hear it echo.
You'd think I would know how, I've been doing Zoom since March. Like, you'd think we would know how to do this.
This is too confusing for me. I'm getting old.
This is ridiculous. Okay, hang on. Okay, I put my volume up and I'm putting my volume back down.
I have an echo. I think I'm better now. Yes.
Okay.
I have an echo. That's weird. What about now?
You know what? Maybe. Oh wait, you have an echo. They're telling me that I don't have an echo.
Do I have an echo? I think I'm better now.
No, you don't have an echo. Oh, I think we're good.
Okay, we're good. We can start.
Good. First of all, hi to everyone saying hi to me.
Hello.
I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. First of all,
people still have more patience after all that. It's hard to be the second person.
It's hard to follow Oyster, Rebbetzin Jungreis Wolff. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
But I've been watching you for a while, and I think you are so inspirational, so entertaining. You're so unique in however, the way you express your message, and I'm just girl crushing on you. So that's I have to have you on the show. And I have to tell you that my middle name is Yaffa, so
It
That's
is?
yes,
Oh, we have that soul connection now.
yes. Now we see why we're connected.
Okay,
And
good.
I'm so excited. Do you want to tell my followers a little about you so they get to know you a little bit?
Sure. Okay, first of all, hi to everyone that I don't know on Instagram. Hi to everyone that I do know. Chana, thank you for that. Also, hi everybody on Zoom.
Maybe.
Okay, but everyone on Zoom, can I challenge you all to turn your videos on? I would love to see your faces. No videos are on, and I feel like I am talking to a chocolate bar.
I even forgot.
I see a bunch of black boxes.
I even forgot that there is participants. Sorry. I was
Who's
totally
building
focusing
that?
on this, but
Hi,
hi,
people,
Zoom.
turn your videos on.
Okay.
I know. Oh, mommy, okay, you want my Kahlua ice cream recipe? Coming right up. Okay.
So cute.
Anyway, so a little bit about me, you said?
Yes.
Where do I begin? My name is Yaffa Palti. I live in Miami, and we just met in Miami last week. The two of us. Are you still here? Or are you back home?
I am back home.
Oh, you're back home. Okay. Oh, you're in your house. Okay.
Yes, at my house. Yeah.
All right, you'll come back soon.
Exactly.
And I am a wife. That's my number one. I am a mother. That's my number two. I am a Torah educator. That's my number three. And I'm a motivational speaker, which means I am unemployed. Gulp. And no, that's fine.
No, you're not. You're inspiring souls. That's the biggest job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just don't make money on that, but that's fine. Not in this world. I make all my money in the next world.
The next world, absolutely.
I'll take it.
That's the best.
Yeah. So that's a tiny bit about me, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I've been trying to get you to speak for Chazaq for a while. Then Corona hit and all this craziness, but I had to have you on my first show because who else would I? You're incredible.
I'm so honored. Really, I'm so honored.
And I'm happy to have you part of new ambassador for the Lashon Hara campaign as well. Of course, when we met,
yes.
we'll get to that.
We're gonna get into that
later. Yes, I'm excited. So let's connecting a little bit to Tu B'Shvat, and we have a tree and it's trying to grow, but the winds are blowing too hard, and there's so many things going against the trees growth. Same thing in Klal Yisrael. A lot of times we want growth in our lives, and there's just so many distractions, so many tragedies, so many things going against us. How can we get past those distractions and hard times and push ourselves for the real growth?
Oh, that's a good question. That's I guess it's hard to answer on one foot because it's all encompassing. There's so much to get into on that, but it's really a good question. And especially, first of all, in general, in life, but especially for those on social media. This could be really difficult. And I'll tell you why, because we consume so much information. We consume and we consume and we consume. And sometimes we don't know, is what I'm consuming something that aligns with my soul's purpose? Is it something that aligns with Torah? What is it that I'm consuming? Where's this message coming from? Who is the messenger giving this message? What movement do I join? What bandwagon do I jump onto? What hashtag do I use?
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
There's so many distractions. There's also a lot of negativity. And the first thing that I would say is that I would suggest over here is try as much as possible to stay away from any negativity. If you don't have to watch the news, don't watch the news. I never watch the news.
I don't know the news exists. I'm anti-news.
Some people tell me, oh, I don't watch TV. I only watch the news. The news is the worst part of TV.
Absolutely.
Go watch some non-existent show, some comedy. That's fine. The news is awful.
News is horrible. Yes, I agree.
So I stay away from the news. If there's something I need to know about, I end up finding out about it, but I find out about it from a non-biased way, right? I do my own research. I learn about it from sources that I trust. So number one, stay away from negativity. Don't watch the news. Stay away from negative people. Don't, surround yourself with as much positivity as possible. That's the first thing I would say, because we have to develop We have to become mentally strong. We have to become emotionally strong. We have to become spiritually strong. The thing is, connecting to Tu B'Shvat, that the strongest part of the tree, a tree is only as strong as its roots are. And you know that we as human beings are compared to a tree. Ki ha'adam eitz hasadeh. We're compared to a tree. Why is that? So there are many different reasons we could understand we have the same growth process, right? That a soul first has to get external nourishment, and then a soul. By the way, I didn't hear a lot of what the Rebbetzin said before. I hope I'm not being redundant in anything. If I am, you can let me know, okay?
No,
so
you're great.
Okay, good. So a tree, so we have this external stimulation. That's a tree. It needs the rain in order to start growing. And then he goes through an internal change where the sap begins to rise. And then all of a sudden you see this change happening, and the fruits blossom, the flowers blossom. A human being is the same thing. We needed the external stimulation, something to inspire us, but then we got to take that inspiration and internalize it, right? And then create that change within. So we have a lot of similarities in our growth process between a human and a tree. But the most solid, a tree is only as strong as its roots are. So the idea is to make sure that there are solid roots. If you are afraid of getting distracted, of being pulled into the negative, being pulled into things that don't align with your soul's mission, and don't align with Torah, don't align with your hashkafa, right? Then this is when we need to solidify and ground. That would be a good word when talking about trees. We need to ground ourselves and in our roots. So that means we have to do things, again, surround ourselves with positivity, surround ourselves, create things, an environment where we become mentally strong, emotionally strong, and spiritually strong.
Absolutely. And cut out all the negative distractions. Just focus on the things that inspire us.
Absolutely. A tree has to be pruned. Why do you prune a tree? You prune a tree because eventually there are some branches on there that become sick, that become wilted, that become dysfunctional. And in order to create a healthier tree, you have to trim those branches off. So sometimes we have to reevaluate our lives and reassess and say, what do I have in my life that is causing me to be sick? Whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, the levels of anxiety that we live with today, right?
Absolutely.
What's causing me as a tree to be unwell? And we got to trim those branches off.
Agree, 1,000%.
So that's what I say about that.
I love the answer. Beautiful. I agree with you 1,000%. Every day when I wake up, I evaluate whatever doesn't give me purpose, whatever doesn't give me positivity, whatever causes me stress has got to go.
Yeah, 100%. Get rid of it. And you know what else? I want to say something else that's really the power of us as human beings in this comparison to a tree. So it's fascinating. The way a tree grows is it breathes in. It has to inhale carbon dioxide, which is a poison.
Correct.
Right? But it inhales the carbon dioxide. And what does it exhale?
Oxygen.
It exhales oxygen. How crazy is that? Right? It breathes in carbon dioxide, which is a poison, but it doesn't exhale carbon dioxide. It takes that poison and it turns it into oxygen. And the message in that for us as being compared to trees, that's a power that we have as human beings. The power that we have is that we are able to take in so much poison, so much negativity, so much hate. Us as humans, and especially us as Jews, right? The anti-Semitism and whatever other hate we're taking in. But we don't exhale hate. We inhale hate. We exhale love.
Absolutely.
We inhale violence. We exhale peace, right? We inhale poison, negativity. We exhale nourishment. We exhale positivity.
Beautiful.
That's
answer.
our power. So no matter what we hear, no matter what we're exposed to, first of all, try to be only exposed to positivity. But even the negativity that seeps in, we don't have to let it turn us negative. We can take it and turn it into something positive and exhale the positivity and nourish the world with the oxygen.
especially as women, we're all about nourishing and giving love and positivity, no matter what. Even if we're having a bad day, you know how it is. We put our happy and we do our thing. So that's
Yes.
part of us. Yes. How can the woman of Klal Yisrael help our fellow Jew in such a time of pain and suffering? How do we make a difference and help out another Jew, another female? How do we lift someone up? Because as we all know, Corona affected so many women. I'm focusing on females now. Sorry, boys. Women are having much more responsibility, much more stress, handling so much more, and sometimes we feel so hopeless. So how do we help? How do we lift our fellow Jewish women in this time?
Okay, so first of all, there's something that we all really need to become familiar with. Two things, actually. The first one is empathy. It is so important for us to develop the midah of empathy, of being able to look at another person and see them for who they really are, and not judge them by circumstances, not judge them by specific behaviors, not judge them by external appearances. Every single one of us has an entire inner world that no one knows anything about, right? And we walk around with that inner world. And sometimes we have the biggest smile on our faces and we're in so much pain inside. And sometimes we're struggling so deeply, and we're struggling in so many ways. We could be struggling emotionally. We could be struggling physically. We could be struggling financially. We could be struggling in our relationships. There's so much, or in parenting, whatever it is, so much struggling. We need to develop the midah of empathy, which means when we look at another person, our immediate reaction should be one of love and not one of judgment.
Absolutely.
Right? And I mean, this is something to work on. I'm talking about an ideal, but of course we work on it step by step, right? So that's the first thing. Let's work on being empathetic towards other people. Another thing is we need to fortify ourselves, as I said before, work on our own roots, on creating emotional health, emotional strength, mental strength. And then we also have to help other people with that. And something that's super important that we can do for others is give them hope, encourage people, show people how resilient they are. And I'm sorry, I don't mean anything, any kind of offense by this at all to anyone, but we do live in a society of where we're taught so often that the most important thing are our feelings and our emotions, and they take precedence over everything and over everyone, and that we have to allow ourselves to feel inadequate if that's how we feel. We can't give ourselves pep talks. We can't tell ourselves how resilient we are because we're not allowing ourselves, this is a culture that glorifies victimhood, and it glorifies staying in your slump and staying down. We get validation for being a victim. There is no possible way for us to be successful in life, for us to be happy, for us to have healthy relationships if we remain victims in life. We need to know how resilient we are, how strong we are. And even when we're in pain, and even when things are difficult, and even when we're scared, and even when we're anxious and uncertain, we have the power, we have the ability to grow, to make change, to create our own certainty within the uncertainty. We have the ability to have a better life. We can't always control the circumstances in our lives, but we could always control our quality of life. We can decide, we get to determine what kind of life we're going to have, even though we can't control other circumstances in it.
Absolutely.
And that's our power. Don't let anyone take that power away from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
I agree with you 1,000%. So many people are struggling, and it's just a matter of picking yourself up and not being a victim and making yourself stronger.
Don't be a victim.
Absolutely.
Get up. And it's so important
fight.
for us
Absolutely. And fight for
And
whatever it is, and fight for
it.
yourself.
Right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Because there are so many people throughout this entire pandemic who I know have been encouraged to allow themselves to wallow in their anxiety. If you don't feel like getting dressed today, don't get dressed. Just stay in your pajamas. Let yourself feel. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to get dressed, and I'm not saying there were plenty of days I stayed in my pajamas. It was just so comfortable, right? That's one of the great parts of being on Zoom and being on a live instead of in person. And I'm wearing my slippers right now. Like, this is amazing, right? You too, right?
Absolutely.
So of course, I'm dressed from here up all the time, you know. So of course, be comfortable, but wallowing, you know, in woe is to me, and excusing yourself for feeling, you know, whatever negative feelings you feel is very detrimental to growth and to health, every type of health. So the thing is that mindset is so important over here. This mindset is everything. And so many of us fall into two basic categories, right? We are people who could either be in a fixed mindset or in a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is someone who thinks that they already know whatever there is to know. I know all the information. I know how to do everything. And I see you're smiling. You have somebody in your mind with a fixed mindset, right? I'm sure we're all picturing someone that we know, right? They're never going to be inspired by anything. They're cynical about everything. I know all there is to know. That's a fixed mindset, okay? Then we have a growth mindset. Growth mindset is the opposite. It's someone who always wants to learn something from someone else, always evolving, always wants to be inspired, always wants to learn.
Thirsty for knowledge, thirsty for, yes, agree.
Yes, exactly. Or it doesn't have to be to that extreme of like always wanting to know, but it's somebody who lives life with a mind that's open to growth. They learn something from messages. They learn lessons from things that happen in life. This is a growth mindset. I don't need to tell you which one of these mindsets is going to be more successful in life and happier, right? And have healthier relationships, right? Obviously a growth mindset. But here's the cool thing. You want to hear this? This is something that I an observation that I had over the pandemic, okay? People in a fixed mindset tend to spiral down on two words. People with a growth mindset tend to elevate on two words. And they are the same two words. They are, what if? In a fixed mindset, what if becomes all the things that might go wrong. Exactly. In a growth mindset, what if becomes all the things that might go right.
Right, exactly. All the opportunities, what ifs, you're right.
Yeah, it's incredible. So in a fixed mindset, what if I lose my job? What if I never get married? What if I get sick? What if I lose, what if? A growth mindset is, well, this didn't work out, but what if there's something better for me, right? What if I'll marry someone better for me than this guy? What if I lost this job, but that's because there's another part of me that I need to get to know now, and there's something better for me out there. So our job, really, if we want happiness and if we want contentment and success in life, is to take the what if and flip it from anxiety to possibility.
Absolutely.
Right? And recognize that there's a certain bracha in the uncertainty. Right? Because if, let's say, Vicky, in March, okay, in the beginning of March, in the beginning of the whole pandemic, if you were told, you personally, if you were told that you are going to have to be in quarantine for the next year plus, and then wear a mask for the next year and be socially distant, what would you have done?
What would I have done? I would have been in disbelief. I
think we would have gone out of our minds.
Absolutely. The fear would set in. We would be terrified. And
we would have been I don't even know how many people would
I don't even know what would happen.
Like
we would have been like, this is impossible. That's right.
It would have been, yeah, absolutely. But how many people But the fact that we were told that you have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. Let's just stay home for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks. And then another 2 weeks. Just one more month. One more month and it will all be gone. We'll be fine. We were able to do that because there was a blessing in the uncertainty, right? Exactly. That sometimes uncertainty scares us so much. It's so frightening because we don't know. We're treading water, by the way. Are you a swimmer, Vicky? You like to swim?
I actually can't swim.
You can't swim?
Okay. I can't swim.
So people out there who enjoy swimming, okay? Swimming is fun. It's enjoyable. I personally don't love to swim, but there are people who do. And you get into the pool and you love it and you swim to one end, you swim to the other end, and it's an enjoyable activity. But let's say you had to tread water. Have you ever had to tread water? That's probably what you do in the water because you don't swim.
Right.
Right? Treading water is so difficult. It is absolutely exhausting. It is very scary because you just have to exert so much energy to stay on top of the water so that you don't drown. But you're not going anywhere and you don't know how long you're going to have to be there for. My friends, 2020 was a year of treading water. That is what we were doing. Okay? We were just there trying not to drown, but it was so tiring and we didn't know where we're going and we didn't know how long it was going to take. And it was so difficult, right? That uncertainty is so frightening. And this is what caused so much anxiety for people. And it caused so much extra pain and so much extra difficulty in people's lives, right? But it's interesting to understand that uncertainty is something that as a child, children thrive on surprise, on the element of surprise, the element of not knowing. Am I right?
Absolutely. I see it for my kids.
Right? It's incredible. They love surprise parties. Would you prefer a surprise party now, or do you want to be prepared for a party?
I need to be prepared for it.
You want to be prepared?
At this age, you don't want surprise parties.
Exactly. As children, we thrive on it. Usually, of course, there's exceptions to every rule. Generally speaking, children, they don't care. When your kids were younger, right? Or anybody out there, right? How excited were they to discuss what they want to be when they grow up, right? Oh, they have every answer in the world. This is one of the milos of children, okay? And this, by the way, is just to bring in a source now from the Torah. Abraham's wife, Sarah, when Sarah was being introduced to us, and the Torah tells us these were the lives of Sarah, and it tells us her age, how old she was when she died. She was 127, but the Torah doesn't say she was 127. How is it written out? It says she was 127, right? Like cut up. And you look at that and you're like, that's weird. It's almost like, when you write a term paper and it has to have 1,000 words, so you can add in all the words and make it right. And you're like,
exactly.
The Torah is not a term paper. It doesn't need extra words and it doesn't have extra words. So why is it written that way? So Rashi saves the day and he jumps in and he says it's because when Sarah was 100, it was like she was 20 in her youth and in her purity. And when she was 20, it was like she was 7 also in her youth. And that sounds beautiful and romantic. But then you think about it for a minute and you're like, what? Why is Rashi praising youth? Like, we live in a society that worships youth. Right?
Exactly.
But what Rashi? He's in that level. What's so good about youth? And this is what I was thinking of. Maybe what Rashi means about that when he's praising her youth, because there is something so special about youth, about children. They have a curiosity for life, right? Anyone here who's ever met a young child? How many questions have they asked you?
All day, every day. And also children also have no fear.
Exactly.
Right.
Children are generally not afraid, and children are so curious. They ask questions. Sometimes the questions are ridiculous and they drive you up the wall. Right? Exactly. Mommy, what's that? A dog. Why? The questions and question after question. And by the way, just a little tip. It's very tempting to push our children away when they ask us too many questions. Sometimes we just want enough already and we just push them away. We don't want to answer them, or we're just kind of like, And they're like, that wasn't a question. That didn't, they realized it was the wrong answer. but it's very tempting to push them away when they have all those questions. And I just want to emphasize that if we don't want to answer our children's questions when they're 4, they're not going to want to ask us questions when they're 14.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's have that in mind, how important it is to give them that time when they're 4. But the point is that they're so curious. They want to do everything, want to be everything. My kids always, you know, when they're younger, what do you want to be when you grow up? Everything. I just want to be everything. They can't choose. Remember one time when my youngest was 5, I remember, and he always had these crazy things he wanted to be when he grew up. And one day I said to him again, I said, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I think I want to be a doctor. And I was so proud, you know, I'm like, finally a normal response. And then he goes, or a dinosaur. Forget it. Not even going there.
That's the best answer.
The point is, though, that I think is what Rashi was referring to. Sarah was so full of life. She didn't get jaded by life. Even as an older woman, she was so enthusiastic about life, so curious, because here's why children are so curious. Because they know that there is still so much that they don't know. There's a big, vast world out there, and they want to know everything about it, right? They want to know as much as possible about that world. So they're going to ask, and they're going to get to know. Something happens to us as we become adults. Our curiosity turns into anxiety.
Anxiety. We fear knowledge. We fear, you're right.
We fear life. We fear life. We fear uncertainty, right? As a child, they don't care that they don't know what they want to be when they grow up. They change their mind every week. As an adult, it's petrifying that we don't know what our future is. And I think that this is a lesson that we really need to understand, that we have to let go. Uncertainty is a bracha for us. It's Hashem saying, I got your back. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be in control of everything.
Absolutely.
So that's the bracha in uncertainty.
I like it. Beautiful answer. Inspirational. I'm afraid, do we have like an hour?
I don't remember the question anymore. We went way off.
1 second. I'm just worried it's going to turn off. I never did this before. Instagram Live has like an hour and then it shuts down.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now
so we can go on. All right. Great. Let's go on.
But by the way, you know how to save this, right? Are you going to save it?
Yes, I'm going to save it. Yes, so people can watch it. Absolutely. Because a lot of people ask me to save it. Yes, I will.
Okay, so save it afterwards. Okay.
I will. So another question I have is, in agriculture, there's a concept called greenhouse, where the plant is stuck inside the greenhouse and it protects, it's from outside dangers. So too during the pandemic, we're stuck in a greenhouse, for example, in quarantine, and we're with our families more than ever. How can we take advantage of this opportunity to improve our relationship with our children, with our husband? What can we do?
Okay. First of all, I would like to take the word stuck and replace it with something else. Can we do that?
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. Because the word stuck has a very negative connotation.
Correct.
Right? We're stuck at home. It's almost like we're imprisoned. We don't want to be here, right? Yeah. Now, I know we don't want to be in quarantine, but when we start off with the negative mindset, then it's hard to change it to something positive, right? And we're really not stuck. In the beginning of the pandemic, I used to say all the time, we're not stuck at home, we're safe at home.
I like that.
Right? Now, I don't know if that's still the same accurate, because in the beginning, it was really, there were differences in what's happening now in the second wave and the third wave and whatever.
Also, it was kind of exciting to spend 2 weeks with the kids and the husband, but, now it's getting kind of, trying not to kill each other or lose your mind.
I know, exactly. And the truth is, relationships are always hard. Even when you're not thrown on top of each other, 24 hours a day, relationships are hard. So now, on top of this, it's interesting because for many years, I was actually a life coach and relationships coach. And then I stopped doing that because when I started becoming, when I became a motivational speaker, I was much more stimulated on the stage in front of hundreds and thousands of women than I was doing one-on-one. I almost felt like I was like bored, or I didn't have the time for the one-on-one because I was so busy doing bigger projects. So I kind of outgrew coaching. And then the pandemic started, And I got right back into it. Well, first of all, I wasn't traveling anywhere, but also the phone didn't stop ringing. The phone didn't stop ringing. Everybody was like, are you coaching anymore? I can't, my shalom bias, has gone down 4 levels. It was just so difficult. My kids, I can't handle them. And I got back into coaching over the past year because I saw so much struggle in relationships, in all different forms of relationships. So this is a really, really good question, right? So the first thing that I want to say is that we all have difficult relationships in our lives, and we have easier relationships in our lives, right? And I want to go back. We spoke about Avram and Sarah, and now I want to continue. This is a very interesting observation. Okay, you ready for this? I know you're probably so tired because you've been on this live for an hour before I came on. Are you good? You okay?
I'm good. I actually had meetings, like 7 meetings today, so I'm good. I just lost my voice a little, but I'm good.
You're so busy always, but you're doing such good work. You are shining your light in this world.
As I said, Chazaq wanted me to do this for a while, and I was like, you know what? I do it now. When I'm the busiest,
get up and do it.
Just do it.
Get up and do it. You're amazing. You're actually amazing.
Thank you, so go ahead. Let's hear the. I can't wait to hear your answer.
Sure that you're still awake. Okay.
Yes, I'm awake.
So, where was I? Oh, so here's an interesting observation. Abraham, his main midah was chesed, was kindness. So he married Sarah, who was gevura. She was the strong one in the relationship. And that way they had a proper balance in their marriage. Okay. Then we have Yitzchak. Yitzchak what was his main midah? His main characteristic was gevura. His was strength. So he married Rivka. Rivka was chesed. And they had a nice balance in their marriage. Then we have Yaakov. Yaakov was tiferet, which is the balance of chesed and gevura.
Interesting.
So
okay.
Who's Yaakov going to marry? Who does he need to marry? So he needed 2 wives. He needed Rachel and Leia.
Wow.
To create a much bigger balance and everything. Right? Now, here's what's fascinating. I want to talk a little bit about Rachel and Leia right now. Rachel and Leia, these names, listen up.
This is for you.
Everybody knows, everyone always talks about how Rachel was the beloved wife and Leia was the hated wife, right? But we also know that if you really read through the psukim, you see that she was not hated at all. Yaakov loved her very, very much. There's also a misunderstanding in the word sin'ah that people interpret it to mean hate, but really, really, it means rejected. It doesn't mean hate. Like the term sin'at chinam, right, which is what we're very familiar with, baseless hatred between Jews. But when we hear that concept, we think, doesn't apply to me. I don't hate anyone. And we don't. Most of us don't hate anyone. It doesn't apply to me. But it does, because sin'at chinam doesn't mean baseless hatred. It actually means baseless rejection. It means when you reject people for no reason, just because they're different than you are. Okay. Gitti just told me that I'm fuzzy. Does everybody see me fuzzy?
Yes, I see you fuzzy too, but I'm so concentrated on what you're saying. Yes, you're fuzzy.
I don't know why that happens, and I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. Should I just wait and see if it gets better?
Is your Wi-Fi, you have a good connection? Let's see, now you're kind of disappeared on, oh, yes.
Is it better? Not really?
A little better. I don't know, what does everyone else see?
Guys, do you see me okay? Oh, Gitti's so sweet. She's like, but we're listening. Okay, I don't know. Am I still very blurry?
Guys, so we need to hear what, you're better. I see you better. I don't know what everyone else is.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Okay, let me know if it gets a little bit better, okay? All right.
It's a little better.
Oh, I see a thumbs up. Okay. No, still fuzzy. Okay, let me finish this idea and see if it's getting a little bit better.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the thing. So it wasn't that Rachel and Leia, that Rachel was more beloved by Yaakov and that Leia was hated or rejected by Yaakov, right? It wasn't at all that. He loved both of them very, very much. The thing is that Rachel was a more lovable person. She had a very lovable nature. She was sweet. She was cute. She was easy to love. And I'm sure we all know people like that in our lives, people who are just easy to love. Right. Leia was a more complicated person. It was harder to love her, right? It was harder work. She was more complex. She was darker. Rachel was light and fun and enjoyable and lovable. Leia was darker and more complicated. So she was just harder to love. But Yaakov worked on loving her. And he loved her and loved her and loved her. But it wasn't easy to love her. And that's really what it meant between the two wives. Definitely. And exactly. And here's the thing. We all have Rachels in our lives. We all have Leias in our lives. We have people in our families who are so easy to love. They're light, they're enjoyable, they're fun, they're lovable, and it's easy to love them. And then we all have Leias in our lives, the people that are just harder to love, right? And these are the people we need to work on loving. In the end, by the way, Leia was the mother of the future Mashiach. Okay, right. Let's have that in mind. Okay, coming from her. Because that's what happens when you embrace the Leia in your life, right? You're able to create something super, super powerful. And I just want to point out something also. If there's someone in your life who doesn't bring out a good part of you, okay? You have some, and again, I just want to emphasize, by the way, in everything here, I'm not talking about any severe mental illness. I'm not talking about personality disorders. I'm talking about in the regular, rational relationship of life. Okay. Regular human behavior, because there are exceptions when we're talking about severe personality disorders and certain, high levels of mental illness. Okay. I just want to point out something really interesting. When you have a Leia in your life, when you have someone who doesn't make you feel good, right? You know, those people who they make you feel insecure, or they make you feel inept, or they make you feel inadequate, they're not good enough, insecure, right? When you have someone in your life who makes you feel like this is not about you. The way a person makes you feel, and I want you to remember this in your head right now. Remember the way I'm quoting it to you, okay? The way a person makes you feel is exactly the way they feel about themselves. So somebody who makes you feel not good enough, it's because they don't feel good enough, and they project that onto you. So when there's someone in your life who makes it really difficult for you because you just don't feel good around them, stop for a minute and realize this is not about you. Don't take it on yourself. Don't feel that negative feeling. This is not on you. This is a window into how they feel about themselves. And this, by the way, goes back to what we said before about learning empathy. Because if we are able to look at the windows of people's lives that they give us to see them through, and if we look for it, it's always there, then instead of taking things personally, and instead of getting offended or insulted or feeling negative in any way from these people, we are able to look at them and say, oh, I feel so bad. They feel so insecure. That's why they're making me feel insecure. Maybe there's a way that I can help them feel better about themselves. Maybe there's a way that I can give them a little bit more love, right? So just to have this mindset switch and to understand this is not about you. We're not here to be victims, okay? This is about seeing how we could create more positivity and more light. So let's work a little. Let's have that understanding. And just to answer your question, let's work on something practical now, okay? The number one way for us to really build our relationships before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, okay? All the same.
All the same, okay?
All the same is we need to learn to focus on the things that are going right and not on the things that are going wrong. There's always going to be things going wrong. The house is always going to be messier than we want it to be. Right?
Nobody has a perfect life, no matter how
Nobody
good it
has a
looks on
perfect
Instagram,
life.
right?
I cannot, it's louder for the people in the back, please. Louder.
Yes,
And because this is a huge problem. I know so many people who have destroyed their lives, but not on purpose. It was a progression of believing everything that they see on Instagram and trying to live a life that doesn't exist, because the people that you're comparing yourself to are not either living those lives. They're just
nobody
showing
has
you
a
their
perfect
highlight
life.
reel.
Nobody, no matter how good their life looks in 15 seconds, they have so many struggles, everyone. There's not a person on this planet Earth who doesn't have struggles or issues. That has to be understood.
And that's why we're on Earth, because we're here to become the best versions of ourselves, and we need to overcome those struggles. That's why we're here, right?
Absolutely.
So it's important to understand there's always going to be things going wrong. You're always going to burn your dinner. Your child is going to misbehave. Your spouse is going to say something that gets on your nerves. There's always going to be things going wrong. We can focus on it's okay. We can focus on all the things going wrong, or we can look around at all the things that went right today. Right? Look how beautiful my child did this. Look what my husband did for me today, or for the kids today, or what. We need to make a conscious effort every day to sit down and make a list of all the things that went right and not all the things that went wrong. And I just want to point out, right? We were talking about Rachel and Leia, how everyone has someone in their life that's a Rachel and someone that's a Leia.
Right.
I want to tell you something. Abigail, thank you. And thank you to all of you. I'm loving your comments. Thank you so much. I want to point out something else. Listen carefully, okay? Not only do we all have Rachels and Leias in our lives, but we each have a Rachel and Leia within us, right?
Absolutely.
We each have a part of ourselves that is so lovable and that we enjoy and that's easy to love, right? And then we have the parts of ourselves that are the Leias. They're so much harder to love. We don't want it there. We don't like it. And we fight it. And then we're angry at ourselves. And then we feel guilty about things. And whatever it is, every part of ourselves that we were given from Hashem because we needed to reach our mission in life to fulfill our potential in this world. Every part of us. There's nothing bad. It's the good, the better, and the beautiful that we have inside of us. So we have to learn to not only embrace the Rachel in us, but we have to embrace the Leia. Also, that's our job. Okay?
I like that. True words.
Thank you.
I love it. Beautiful. You said it, girl. I don't know. You're just amazing. I'm like listening to her, like, yes.
Thank you so much.
How can we as women internalize this idea of greatness of a woman? How can we remind ourselves of this on a daily basis to keep this important message in our mind? I know I'm asking this to everyone, but every woman has its own advice. So I want to hear your...
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand the question. You said, how can we internalize the idea of greatness of women?
How do we internalize the idea of greatness of a woman? How can we remind ourselves of this on a daily basis?
Okay.
And to keep this message in our minds every day, you know? So
yeah.
I want to hear your...
Okay, so first of all,
yes.
This has, we have to start from the beginning of, thank you, everyone. I'm trying not to focus on all the comments, but I appreciate that they're writing the comments. So really, thank you. I love you all.
I told you you're going to love her.
Thank you. I did not write a book yet, but it is in the plans because they're asking. Okay, anyway, so the first thing we need to understand is that we do have greatness within us. Because you said, how can we internalize it? The first thing to know is to recognize the greatness that we have within us. Okay? Each one of us, we were given this an incredible, unique, even the fact that we are in this world. Do you know how many people didn't make it to this world? Right? We were born, we were selected. Do you know what the chances of you have been being born in this generation to your family in your exact life situation? Do you know what statistically how rare that is? It's like 1 in 400 trillion or something like that, like crazy.
Exactly. And you were chosen. You were chosen for a reason.
You were chosen. Every single one of you watching this right now, you guys on Instagram, you guys on Zoom, every single one of you, you were chosen, you were selected to be in this world right here, right now. And sometimes, you know, it's so easy to, again, as we said before, compare ourselves to others. We have things in life that, look, we have disappointments in life, right? We're disappointed sometimes in our families. We're disappointed in our life circumstances. We're disappointed in things. How many of you out there are living your plan A life, right? The life that you planned from the minute you were 10 years old, when you planned your life for the future. How
None
many
of us.
of you?
None of us. I'm telling you now.
I think anyone here above the age of 30 for sure, maybe even like 25, right? We're not living our plan A lives.
Every day we're not living our planned lives. Forget about since we're kids.
Exactly. And that can be something that's very frightening for people. We had a plan or we had an expectation and it didn't happen. And sometimes it's, you know, it actually is very scary. What do I do now? I didn't, this is not the vision. This is what I wanted. You know, we have children, please God, those of us who are blessed to have children, right? Do you know what children are? I hate to say it like this, but it's the truth. Children are an accident at birth because you have no idea who you're giving birth to. You have no idea. You don't know what kind of personality they're going to have. You don't know what kind of physical looks they're going to have. You don't know what their health is going to be like, their mental health, emotional health, physical health. You don't know their level of intelligence. You don't know anything. And you're giving birth to, and yet, by the way, if you ask any expectant mother, when she, you know, she's pregnant, you go over to her and you say, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you going to love your child?" I'd be careful with boundaries, whatever. Are you going to love your child? What's that mother going to say?
Of course.
Of course. What kind of question is that? And you say to her, "Yeah, but what if your child turns out to be a brat like the neighbor's kid? You know, like one of those runny-nosed children. You're still going to love your child?" What's she going to say? Of course. It's not even a question, right? Most mothers, again, I'm talking about in the normal, healthy, rational realm. Most mothers, every mother, loves her child before she even meets them. Correct. Right? And then we have this child, and sometimes we have the greatest expectations, or my kid is going to be the smartest and prettiest and the most talented. And then you have the kid, and they're wonderful in many ways, but they might not be that. Right?
Every kid is a surprise.
Every kid is a surprise. Exactly. And it's amazing. It's fascinating. And then you have also in relationships, you know, how many times I taught brides for many years. How many times I would get phone calls, you know, a few months later, or a year later, Yaffa, I think I married the wrong person, right? Why did you marry the wrong person? Mostly because the expectation they had for a husband is not who this person is. And I tell you, you didn't marry the wrong person. It's just time to make an adjustment of expectation right now. We got to figure it out, right? So we have all of these disappointments in life. I wanted to own a home by the time I was this age. I wanted to have a car by the time I was that age. I want whatever, right? And we don't always. Things don't always go the way we want them to. And the problem is that often when this happens, we feel like we're living our plan B life, not our plan A life, right? And not even B, by the way. It could be C, D, E. We got all the way till Z. Pick your letter, all right?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And what happens when you feel like you're living a plan B or C or D? First of all, are we really living? We feel this is going back to victimhood. We feel deprived. We feel gypped. We feel like
a failure.
We feel like a failure. Exactly. Or we feel like we didn't get what we deserved. We deserve more. We deserve different. And we start having a lot of resentment. Resentment towards our spouse, resentment towards our children, resentment towards our parents, resentment towards Hashem. Right? Because we're not living, we don't have what we feel we deserve. By the way, deserve is my least favorite word. Okay. I hate the word deserve. I'm going to use the word hate. That's very strong. Deserve is so dangerous because we keep feeling like we deserve. Why do we deserve anything? Everything we have is a blessing and a gift that we did nothing to deserve. We got it because Hashem loves us, right? And when we start falling into this pattern of deserve, then we never feel like we have enough. We feel like what we deserve more, but I don't have this. Okay, I have this, but I don't have that, right? And we always want more and more and more. We're never satisfied. We could never just be happy. So we start feeling resentful. We start feeling bitter. We're never satisfied with the things we have in life. We just keep wanting more and more and more, right? So this is something so important for us to understand. This level of feeling like we deserve something constantly. Okay, be super careful with that. The world owes us nothing. It was here before us. Remember that. Okay, we owe the world. The world doesn't owe us.
Exactly.
Right?
And everything is a gift. You're right. A lot of people feel entitled to get the best of everything in life. Absolutely.
Yeah. This definitely leads to entitlement. 100%. And now I totally forgot the rest of my sentence because I interrupted myself when I went off on a tangent about deserve. I don't remember what I was saying.
I interrupt you.
But no, I interrupted myself by getting into deserve, the whole concept of deserve. I don't remember what I was saying. Let me see if the comments will remind me. I was talking about expectations. Yeah. Focus on gratitude. All of that is good. I don't remember. If it comes back to me, I'll finish my sentence. But but the idea is that that the greater the that's what I was saying about living a plan A versus plan B, right? So so the thing is, here's what's important to understand. Okay, again, I want you to remember the way I'm quoting this to you guys. Okay, I hope you're writing this stuff down. Remember this. Okay, if you are living a life that you consider plan B, okay, or as Hannah just said, or plan Z, okay, you're living a life, you think that you're not living your plan A and you're living your plan B or C or D. The life that you're living is the life Hashem gave you. And that means that your plan A was completely irrelevant. It didn't even exist. Because your plan B is Hashem's plan A. Does that make sense?
Agreed.
Right? Your plan B is Hashem's plan A. So now we got to take the plan B and flip it into a plan A.
Exactly.
Right? So we're going to flip the what if from anxiety to possibility. We're going to flip the plan B into the plan A. Okay? That's our job. And I want to point out, and I guess we can end with this because I know it's getting late. I want to point, unless it's something else you want to say, of course, but I'll end with this. I just want to point out that as women, okay, especially, we have a superpower. And we have quite a few superpowers. One of them is Emunah and Bitachon, right? This is how we were set free of Egypt. We didn't focus on being victims. We focused on being free, on taking control of life later on. Right? And one of our superpowers is resilience. We have this power to get up. And resilience, by the way, doesn't just mean jumping back up. It actually means jumping forward. Okay? That's real resilience. But another superpower that we have is brought down in Eshet Chayil. You're familiar with Eshet Chayil?
Of course.
Okay, you get serenaded Friday nights?
Every Friday night.
Every Friday night, right? It's beautiful. So many of us get serenaded every Friday night with this beautiful poem of Eshet Chayil. Okay? It's okay. And I want to say something for a minute because the word Eshet Chayil is very triggering for people. Okay? Eshet Chayil. It's like this word we were always taught growing up that we have to be like this 1950s,
Perfect.
housewife, you know?
Yes.
Always in the kitchen with the apron and mixing the batter and, with the barefoot and pregnant, or rather if it's in the 1950s with heels and pearls, but this ideal Eshet Chayil. Exactly. And the problem is that we think that that's the goal, that we have to be that perfect wife and mother all the time. And then we're not. So then we feel like a failure, and we feel like I'm not an Eshet Chayil, so I'm a level lower than I'm supposed to be. And then we live in that guilt, right? Which has a terrible vicious cycle to it. So but that's a misunderstanding of Eshet Chayil. An Eshet Chayil is not that woman. It's not that woman with 17 kids who teach it in every school, and the woman who's always cooking and baking. No. Can I tell you what an Eshet Chayil is? You ready?
Ready.
How I define Eshet Chayil. An Eshet Chayil is a woman who knows when it's time to buy takeout.
I like that.
Right? That's an Eshet Chayil. It's someone who lives in the she's a woman who lives in the presence of her reality. She knows what are her priorities, what are my needs, what are my family's needs, and what is my job, what do they need from me right now? What can I be for them? She prioritizes. That's an Eshet Chayil, and every single one of us can be that. And I want to end off with the first verse of Eshet Chayil, which is Eshet Chayil mi yimtza, who can find this incredible woman of valor. Sorry, just plugging in my phone because I got the message that I'm low battery. Who can find this incredible woman of valor, right? Who is she? Does she exist? Sorry, gotta fix the Zoom now. There we go. Okay. Who is this incredible woman of valor? And then the rest of the verse, V'rachok mipninim michra. Her value is so great that she's greater than pearls. And this is very empowering, right? You read this and you're like, look at me, right? My value is greater than pearls. But if you're anything like me, and maybe like you, Vicky, tell me if you fit into this category. You read this verse and you're like, she's so great, her value is greater than pearls. Hello, pearls? What about diamonds?
I like that. Yes.
You're telling me I'm so great and then you compare me just to a pearl? Hello?
Diamonds.
Diamonds. So here's the thing here's how I understand this. What's the difference in how pearls are made and in how diamonds are made? So diamonds, I'm not a diamond expert. I mean, I'm an expert in wearing them, not in making them.
Right.
So maybe someone out there knows, some of the technical terms, but
they're made under high pressure.
They're made under high pressure, but it's a stone. It's a stone that you find in the ground, and then someone who knows what they're doing takes it and cuts it and polishes it and creates this beautiful gem. You get so many diamonds from one rock, right? They're never ending. They're an endless amount, and of course it takes work, but it's relatively easy to make the diamond. How are pearls made? You know how pearls are made?
Underwater, no, either.
Yes. Yes, because freshwater pearls, right? So there's an oyster, which is a sea creature, okay? There's an oyster who swims around and around and around the water. And this oyster has a shell. Now, the reason it has a shell is because underneath the shell, there's like raw materials, like whatever you have under your nail. Okay, obviously it's not pleasant, it's not comfortable. And the oyster, what happens is as he's swimming along the water, a grain of sand gets stuck under the shell. Now it could be 1 grain of sand, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. Could you imagine the discomfort of having a grain of sand stuck under his shell, right? But he goes and he carries it around with him. And he swims around and he swims around and he is uncomfortable. He is irritated, right? He's in pain. It's very difficult for him. But you know what the oyster does? I'm going to tell you what the oyster does. What?
Keeps going.
Yes. And you know what else? I'm going to tell you right now. The oyster becomes a poet. Okay? He becomes a poet. And this is the poem that the oyster says. Are you ready? I want you all to memorize the poem. Okay? The oyster says, if I can't remove it, I'll improve it. What do you think of that poem? If I can't remove it, I'll improve it.
Powerful.
Powerful. Because there's nothing I can do about it. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to take this grain of sand and I will turn it into a beautiful pearl. That's what I'm going to do. And that's why pearls are so valuable. And that's why this is the superpower of a Jewish woman. This is the very first description of the Eshet Chayil. This is a woman who can take what life gives her, the parts that are difficult, the parts that are painful, the parts that are irritating, the parts that are complicated. And she will take all of that. And instead of being a victim from it, and instead of being weighed down, and instead of living in the pain, she will take it and she will turn it into a beautiful pearl.
Love it.
And that's our
Powerful.
superpower.
Wow. Brilliant. I love this. Never heard this before. Wow.
It's my own interpretation, but
It's
I
beautiful.
feel it so strongly. I feel it very strongly.
I love it. Now, this prayer is going to be different every time my husband sings it to me. I'm going to think.
Good. That's the point.
Beautiful.
Good. Have this in mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Oh, thanks for all the hearts.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Yaffa, you're so amazing, so inspirational. I love the way you interpret things. I love the way you look at things and the way you give it over. You're just unbelievable.
Thank you.
Totally
Thank you so much.
love everything about you. Everything.
Thank you. It's really just I'm projecting the inspiration off of you.
No, I'm just interviewing the most amazing woman, the most amazing Jewish woman. I'm so happy that you joined, that you were part of this, and for inspiring so many people. And you see, everybody love the interpretation.
Yeah,
Me
thank
too.
you all
I'm
so
loving
much.
this.
Thank you for all the messages. I'm seeing them all come through, and I really appreciate them. Thank you.
Please follow Yaffa. You're gonna be so in love with everything she puts out. And again, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you,
It was
Vicky.
really a
Thanks for
pleasure.
inviting me. Thank you all for joining. Hi, Zoom
Thank you all for
people.
joining. Please send
Thank
me
you
your
for those
recommendation who I should
Thanks
host.
for the thumbs up on Zoom and for the hand claps. Thank you. And thank you, Instagram people.
Thank
And
you. It's been a
I'll see you
pleasure.
again.
Yes.
Save
Thank
it.
you,
know how to
everyone.
save it, right? People are
I'm
asking
going to save it. I'm going to share it on my page, but I want everyone to please send me your recommendations who you want me to host again.
Thank you, Marina.
That's good.
Thank you, Margie. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm sorry.
everyone.
Okay, so yeah, you know how to save it on your page, right?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
follow the instructions. You do the X, and then it says save as IGTV.
Okay.
So you click save.
Do I download it also onto my phone?
You can if you want to. If you have space on your phone. No, I don't know if you can do both. If you have space,
I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna share it on my Instagram.
Just share it IGTV and just you have to write the title in it. So you can just write interview with Yaffa Palti. You have to write it fast so you don't lose it. I'm always like, I have this trauma because I've lost them before. Okay.
I hear you. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks
Love
again.
you. Thank you, everyone,
Bye,
for
everyone.
tuning in. I
Love
really
you all.
appreciate it. And I hope that you were inspired like I was with these incredible women. And send me your suggestions. And we'll do this again next month.
Yay.
Thank you. Okay, so Yaffa's off. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night. I'll enjoy my tea.